Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Cruise Amigos live
We
from
are
just normal
here.
studios.
It's pretty normal. The only problem is there's no heat in here. The big heater at the end of the unit has gone out, so I'm working on little tiny boxes. My
Oh,
fingers are cold. So,
yeah, I can imagine.
and it seems to be the light is weird. Do you see how I get sunshine every once in a while?
Yeah, well, that's okay. That's
So,
clouds going by.
clouds going by. There you go.
Yeah.
Now, the other problem is something happened yesterday. My nose opened up. How do I get out of the picture here? There we go. My nose is running like a faucet at a 4th of July fireman's rally. So, and I can't, nothing wants to stop it. I mean, it just, I don't have a cough. I don't have a fever. I don't have any of the symptoms of COVID. Nothing like that. But my
That's a
nose
good
is
way of
just
putting
going
it.
whoosh. So,
All right, so I have a question for you.
yeah.
Were you glad to be back home?
Yes. Isn't that weird? But this time I was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sorry, but the cruise was not like all the other, there's all the other cruises I've been on and this one.
Yeah.
Not that it was bad, because, when you can open your balcony door and the water's going by but, we did figure one thing out. Talk to a psychologist. We figured one thing out.
Okay.
You didn't see anybody smile because everybody was behind masks. And it was a group problem, you see, because normally on a cruise, my joke is my room's on the 12th floor. Taste, the main dining room is on the 5th. Here we go again. Hang on. And usually in that run of the elevator, I know where they're from, how many kids they got, which cruise this is, where they're going to cruise next, and we made some kind of dinner plans.
Yeah.
Right? On this trip,
Normal procedure.
yeah, that isn't that just kind of how it goes. You're
Yeah.
just with a bunch of neat people, and everybody's in a relatively good mood, but this time, everybody except there was one or two guys that decided that they were above the mask regulations. But otherwise, everybody, and there's 4 dots on the floor. The elevator showed 12 people, but there's 4 dots in the floor. Now, some people cheated, and a husband and wife shared a dot, or a couple. I don't know if they were legally married under the auspices of the Lutheran Church or not. But but when you got in the elevator, you just everybody, and I talked to people about this. You just thought of it as a COVID spreading location. So everybody, you just get on the elevator and, you'd sit on your spot and you'd kind of try not to breathe. And then maybe if you were really lucky, when you got out, someone would say, "Have a nice day." That was as good as it got. And then you would say, "You guys too." And, but there was just no, and I heard you guys talking this morning, and, on the Epic, there was no big 5 o'clock solo group like they've had before. There was no special solo tourist. What do they call it? What's the guy's name? Cruise director.
Meetups.
There was no cruise director for the solos.
Oh, no cruise director at all. Okay.
And on purpose. I mean, they just were not doing anything to risk bringing people together, I'm sure, so that later someone could say, "Well, I got it because you invited me into this group here," or something.
Yeah.
But it was, and it was like that. And I mean, at dinner time, it would be weird. I had my own table for 4, and the next guy to me had his own table for 4. The next guy, a girl, it was just wrong. And it carried over into just that general feelings of things. And if it's like this way next year, I'm gonna cancel out.
Yeah.
Just for me. That's not to say other people shouldn't. And I mean, we're trying to promote tourism, and I get all that, but doggone it, Berlin was a lot nicer. Rome, Paris, Frankfurt. There was the ship had this weird vibe, and I don't blame anybody. Believe me, don't misunderstand.
Yeah.
But it was just weird because it's sort of like, okay, I'm going to go to where I have a higher chance of getting typhoid. I'm going to choose to go there, and then I'm going to do most of the things that I can do to pretend I don't get it, but I know I'm at risk. When I don't think you were at risk. I think that Norwegian, at least in my mind, went like you've said, better than going to your local restaurant or your local grocery store. I have no criticism of them as in the safety zone.
Yeah,
I think they did great. They were cleaning, extra people cleaning. I got this on the way back, by the way. If anything, I got this in the train.
yeah.
So.
Well, welcome to a few people over in the chat room. Nikki's here. Margaret's here. Hey, Margaret. And of course, Katie's with us. Katie's getting ready to go on a cruise ship here next week.
Yeah.
So,
and I think you should, but I guess one thing is bring solo materials. If you're a reader, bring some books. If you're a digital reader, make sure you got your thing loaded up. And then, I mean, maybe silly, but the choice of on the TV channel, they had one TV channel and one movie channel, and they played the same 3 TV shows over and over. At least I think I'd have gone out of my way to see that there was something to draw people's attention and keep them a little happier in their room.
Yeah. Well, I decided, I basically called this show cruising during the Christmas season or something
right.
like
And
that.
as soon as I get this, of course, while I was gone for almost 3 months, guess what? The battery
mouse died.
Yeah. So Ronnie's bringing me a new battery. So that right now I'm sliding around on the screen to make things happen, but we'll get some better Christmas stuff going here in a minute.
Okay. All right.
So I hope.
Well, one of the things that I've figured we could do is ask anybody that's in the chat room or with us today if they've been on a number one, a Christmas cruise, i.e. Christmas Day on a cruise ship, as opposed to this month.
Right.
I mean, you were on a Christmas season cruise.
Other thing is they put out no decorations.
Had no decorations at all.
You didn't even, it was not a ho, ho, ho. Like maybe they did after they arrived in New York.
Well, that's possible.
Maybe all this stuff is packed up, down. Maybe, I don't know if they carry all this stuff with them year round, or do they get it at a port? I mean, are they expecting we're going to be in X port on X day? And
well, let's see if we don't have some research that might answer that question.
All righty.
I mean, there might be some research out there. Carnival, Carnival's got a whole bunch of ships.
Yes.
Do.
You said
now we're just going to look at
just to make sure you said
the little
Carnival has a whole bunch of ships. Yeah. Okay.
The little teeny part called Carnival Cruise Line. Okay. Not the umbrella that takes in all them damn ships and the princess ships and all those. They got 95 different cruise lines that they own. So we're not going to talk about them. We're just going to talk about Carnival,
the big
for
C.
a second. Okay.
Yes.
To see if this might answer your question. Carnival released the schedule.
Oh, nice.
Of when they're going to have the ships decorated. For instance, I'm not going to read through the whole thing, but Carnival Breeze was had to be decorated by December 2nd.
Okay.
Carnival Glory by November 28th.
Yeah. So what's the first and the last? I guess that
Carnival
would be the question.
Panorama on the November 27th.
Okay.
Well, let's see. On the list, 20. It looks like the 27th of November was the earliest, and the latest is the Conquest and Radiance on December 13th. That's when they sail. They ain't sailing yet.
Yeah.
So, but that's just the list of when Carnival's gonna decorate it. Now, what they're gonna decorate with, and again, folks, this is just on the Carnival Cruise Line ships, the Carnival private label brand, whatever you want to call it. They have 568 Christmas trees. Now that's for 18 ships.
Wow.
They have 56,000 feet of garland for 18 ships.
Yeah.
They have 750,000 lights, which if they strung those together would stretch 50 miles. Now that's about halfway across your farm, isn't it?
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
right? 50
about half.
miles?
Yeah, about halfway. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, it's twice as far, but
They have 150,000 feet of ribbon
wow.
and 6,000 hand-tied bows. Now that's just on Carnivals. I mean that doesn't even take into account what they're going to do on Holland America.
Right. Which I would think that to me is, that's the next step up or two, that they're going to go over the top on a Holland America ship. More garland, more lights, more real stuff, because people are paying there's a certain expectation that Holland America is a pretty good ride,
Oh yeah. Well, there's people that like Holland America over Carnival. As I've gotten older, I've made no bones about the fact that I was a Carnival guy, because 90%, well, not 90 now, but back in the day when I was cruising a lot before pandemics and health issues and all that, back in the day when I was cruising Carnival almost all the time, but I never went on one of the ships during the holidays or for a holiday. I've never been on a cruise ship. There's Ace. I've never been on a cruise ship during Christmas or New Year's. I mean, it was good. It wasn't that I'm opposed to it.
Right.
But the way my business worked, I did good during the summer months. For those of you that don't know, I was in the concessions business. I did funnel cakes and lemonade. So during the summer months, what most people would call the carnival season, even though I didn't specialize in carnivals, I was busy.
Sure, of course.
And I was doing NASCAR races, and I was doing baseball games, and so I was busy. But then once you got into fall, I did football games, but that's one game for 3 hours. And for a while, I did 2 games, so I split my crew up. But still, it was limited, so my income was limited. So by the time I got around to Thanksgiving, I had nothing going until New Year's week, in which I had a big event for the 30th and 31st of December.
You worked on New Year's all the time, so
every year I was at Winterfest up at Liberty. It's a Christian music. The
Gaithers? Were the Gaithers there?
Huh?
The Gaithers.
They were there one time. Yeah.
One time. All right. My favorite. The 20-year-old Gaithers are my favorite music, gospel music in that genre.
Yeah. So, that was clearly why I never did a New Year's cruise, because I did that every year until, 2 years ago when all hell broke loose.
I wouldn't doubt it. Now, did you count that in the current year, or did you push those revenues into the next year all the time?
No, I always counted it in the year itself. I put my income at December 31st, so it went in the in the year, and it didn't matter whether I had a profitable year or a
profitable beer. Yes, if you had those profitable beers, you have to stay on top of that.
Profitable beer. Yeah. So anyway, that's the way. Now, I did not break it down if I sold something after midnight on December 31st.
So that was the question too. So if it's 7 p.m., even if it went till 3 a.m, that was still on the 7 p.m. day.
Yeah, I just loaded it up so that I had actually no income on December 1st.
Right.
Because the show
or January once
ended shortly after midnight on the 31st. But
see, we always had a rule in entertainment that because we worked across midnight, that it was never he's just got to get into everything. It's never the next day until we went through a normal sleep period.
Yeah.
So even if we were still up at 5 or 6 in the morning, it was still whatever the
before.
7 p.m. was. Just need one. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, I did pretty much the same thing. So as a result, then I had a nice influx of cash, because that was a huge event, because it was indoors, it was hot. I didn't do that much in the way of funnel cakes, which we had to cook outside and have runners to run them inside, which was that was kind of weird, dicey. But we would sell truckloads of fresh squeezed lemonade.
Really? And
truckloads.
Isn't that interesting? Okay.
Because it was a big, they packed a big basketball arena with, like 16,000 people, and it gets hot.
Were they bringing a little extra to?
No, not at Liberty's Winterfest.
That's right.
They would have prayed over somebody if they tried to, perhaps, but no, they would never. At least not that I ever saw. I mean, that's always possible that somebody had a little. No.
A little nip, as we say.
Yeah. A lot of nips, but I waited until I got home, no matter how cold it was, and then I'd have my celebratory cocktail
celebratory.
Yes.
Say that 3 times really fast.
No, I can't do it because I need a nap. Celebratory. So anyway, so I never had the money to go on a cruise at Christmas. It was one of the reasons that I got to the point that I hated Christmas, because I never had just the way my money worked. I never had money to do what I wanted to do at Christmas.
Sure.
So I became a bah humbug person. So I bah humbugged a lot, and I'm getting a lot better now. I mean, I even went out and got my sister and my niece, who are the Christmas nuts in the family. I got them a special decoration stuff this year, which I haven't done. I haven't done that literally in 30 years.
See, all you got to do is catch cancer and look death in the face, and all of a sudden you're a new person.
Yeah, things look a lot different. Yeah. So, and I still haven't figured out if it was worse to have looked death in the face a couple times, or the fact that I've been, 2 years without being on a boat.
Oh, hey. And the misery,
I'm not sure
and the misery that brings. It's not just that fact, but we all know, what a tough time it was for you, and so easy to get a bad attitude. So now the other day when I heard you talking about the fact that you might spring for this 35-day big long cruise that would really be more than all of your cruises for the whole year.
Yeah,
I go, Chillie has seen the light.
I'm so, and I hate what I've decided to do, how I'm going to, I've come up with these warped reasons on gearing everything that I'm doing right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my warped reasons are, I'm only booking cruises where they help solo cruisers.
That's neat.
If somebody hits 100%, hell with them. I ain't going. Now, that'll probably cut my nose off to spite my face, and I'm probably sure at some point I'll change that and bite the bullet. But right now, at least, I'm only looking at ships that are giving you a break.
Okay,
well, that's good. A break.
I'm okay with that.
And the other one, I'm trying to go on ships that I haven't been on.
Yeah, sure.
And again, one of these days I'll come across one that's going to break one of those rules, and I'll bite the bullet and do it. But back to the South American cruise, it's on a ship that I've never been on.
Number one, okay,
it's a Holland America.
Yep.
And they're given about a 25% break.
That's
not as much as I would like, but at least it's a break.
When you mean a break, you mean for buying for two, like the double cost?
Yeah. It's not 100%. That's where you're paying double.
But are they charging you 25, or they're knocking it off 25?
I don't know. I think it's knocked off 25.
So you're paying 1.75. You're paying for almost 2 people yet. Well, let's have
Well,
words
yeah.
with them. Let's have words with them.
Yeah. So that's why one of the reasons it's not booked yet entirely.
Right.
But that's still not the reason. My criteria is these first 3 cruises. You know, I leave here on the 24th of January. I'm going on Freedom of the Seas. And then I got a day in Miami, and I get on MSC Seaside. I've never been on MSC. And I get off of that after 7 days, and I get on MSC Davina. I've never been on MSC or MSC. That
You're
will
going to
obviously
be fine
my
on
second
MSC.
MSC cruise.
Yeah, yeah. You're going to be fine on MSC. These,
I think
these
so.
naysayers. I've been on MSC, and yes, it's different. But good God, that was nothing that influenced my cruise in a negative way.
Yeah.
Except the jokes were kind of, when you hear the punchline 6 times in 6 different languages.
In different languages. Yeah, it could be a little testy, but
different people around the table laughed at different times, you know?
Yeah. And if there's some kind of a, for sure American dish, it may not be quite fixed as I'm used to having, but that's okay. I can deal with that.
Right, sure.
They could be, there's Ace's butt.
He's just so excited. He hasn't seen me, this was our first time together now since I left. So
yeah. So anyway, back to my criteria. I'm going to look at these 3 cruises, and I'm going to see how much of an influx of new subscribers I get to my YouTube channel.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, folks. I'm not wealthy, and my channel, I'd like to get to the point where I make enough money to cover my expenses.
Of course.
Now, I'm not trying to go on cruises free, but it would be nice if I can cover my computer expenses that I do for this. Yeah. Like StreamYard, for instance. I don't know what the hell do I pay for a year? $480 or something?
$50 a month.
Yeah. So, and I pay it for the year. So I know, you get a little knocked off.
Yeah.
So, I mean, just that, I'd like to make enough money to pay for that. My income level right now on my channel, unless some people, do chats and donation money, basically, which I appreciate every time somebody does that, but I don't push that. Go ahead and sneeze. I don't care.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. I make less than $100 a month.
Right.
Because it's $100 window, and it takes me every other month. I get a check. So I want to see some growth with new subscribers. Hey. Then I can say, okay, eventually I'm going to get there. I'm going to have, 15, 20,000 people. Then I would feel a lot more comfortable with booking a $10,000 cruise. So, because my son still has threatened me, if I go spend 10 grand on a cruise, he's coming to Virginia and killing me. So I don't waste any more of his inheritance.
Well, we don't have to tell him.
And I don't have to, but so anyway, that's his threat, and
I get it.
I'll stand by it.
I get it. I understand.
So has anybody been on a cruise? I didn't even go over and see if anybody's in the chat room.
Well, Emily's getting her toes reshaped and sculptured.
Oh, good for her, I guess.
Rose says VOA, FYI.
We don't want to talk about that. That's a sex bomb. We will remove that.
Oh, darn. Give me a little fun.
Block user. I just blocked that because I know what that's the same code. One of them was on Pete's show today. So it takes you, if anybody should click on that one in the chat room, they go right to a sex room. And
there wasn't a link, or it wasn't a link in mine anyway. So
it didn't matter. If you click on that name, it takes you there.
Hey, it's the only
And
excitement I
then you
get.
have hell getting out of it.
Yes,
And I
that's the
clicked
problem.
on it and went there, and I went through 10 kinds of hell to get out of it and eliminate it off my computer. But yeah, that was a sex
Okay. All
channel.
right. So Rose, you're out.
You're
Get
done.
out.
All right,
Like the
done,
coach would
done.
say, you're out. No, that's the umpire, isn't it?
Pat's going, I'm on a cruise January 2nd. That's
All right.
awesome, Pat. Good to hear that.
Yeah. Carol, hello. Hello. Well,
Nikki's
so
with us.
for me, let's see. I've done Easter and I've done Thanksgiving on a cruise ship.
Yeah.
And neither. Also interesting. There was no church services on Norwegian this time. Usually, they put a church service together and they meet in the Canyon Club, the Beatles bar, and I always go, because it's kind of my regular thing. But that was not listed. Or there was nothing. And
it was a Norwegian cruise that I went on that had a Catholic priest that did masses.
Yeah.
And because he and I met in the hot tub every morning. I'd have my little Bloody Mary, and he'd have a cup of coffee.
Well,
and we both get up.
Sure.
To two big old fat man. He just happened to be
Coffee.
A priest.
Sure, coffee.
And it was, maybe he put a little, wine in his.
You did hear about the rabbi and the priest that were having a discussion one day, and finally the priest says, "No, come on, in all of your years and being in college and everything, certainly you've tried a ham at least once, haven't you?" And the rabbi said, "Well, yes, I have." And then the rabbi says, "Well, and come on, Father. I mean, you were a young guy, and before you went to seminary and everything, did you kiss a girl? Come on, you can. We're just the two of us here, men of God, And the priest says, "Well, yes, I did." Little pause went by, and the rabbi goes, "Better than a ham, isn't it?"
Yeah. What can I say? Jack's with us from down in Conroe, Texas. 59 degrees in Conroe.
Well, we're 35 here today. This is a carryover yet from this stuff that went through, and our sympathies to all the people that are digging out. The news that the governor said down there in Kentucky is just almost not repeatable. Like that candle place, they've got 40 survivors out of like 150, and it's been since 3:00 yesterday morning that they found another survivor. This is terrible.
Yeah,
so sad.
Yeah, that was. Of course, I've watched that almost nonstop because of.
I'm sure.
All my family and their relatives are in Kentucky, so
it's just so. And
it went from 29 here to 70 yesterday.
Oh my.
And then last night the low was back down to 35.
Yeah.
Today it's going to be up in the 50s.
Wow.
So it's not going to be 70 again. But still, when that kind of up and down is just
extremely weird.
I hate cold weather, but I'd rather have it steady than the nuts up and down crap. So
I wonder, for those that don't know, has anybody experienced significant wind off the bow of the ship? I think that I just can't imagine, but we did the math on it.
Yeah.
And we had 79 mile-an-hour winds off the point of our ship there for almost a whole day. Unbelievable. And how the ship just didn't flutter at all. I mean, people are going, "Oh, see, that's why I don't go to." I'm telling you, your glass of water didn't jiggle any more than Ace walking across the table.
Yeah. Well, that's because of the stabilizers that they have now. Yeah. Back in the day, when I first started cruising, when even John was a young man.
I can't even imagine.
They didn't have stabilizers on the boats.
Yeah.
So, I would walk down the hall and the damn boat would tilt.
Yeah.
Just because I was fat.
They said as much as 20 degrees either way,
Either way.
40 degrees altogether.
But boy, you get in a storm on one of those old boats, it's no wonder people, had to take Dramamine or put a thing on their neck or take a shot or,
and
some people still do that.
But I mean,
our buddy Emma gets seasick. That's what
that's amazing.
Emma, who's cruised 100 times and has 100,000 people subscribed to her channel, and she still gets seasick.
Wow.
So I guess those that do, I feel sorry for all
Oh,
of you.
hey, and it's a real. It's
God knows I'm not making fun of Emma. I
it's
love
a
Emma
real
to death.
thing, you know. It's real.
But
My goodness.
I just never. I mean, even when it was throwing me around, and I was bouncing off the walls. I never had got seasick. So anyway, I'm a big old fat guy, and just keep on trucking. So
Yeah, and that's it was just amazing how the ship just held steady. I mean, and I could not get my balcony door open there for a few hours that one night. The pressure against it was, and I mean, it's a sliding door. It's not that I was opening it in or out to the wind. But
well, one of the things that clearly, one of the reasons is that some of us just hate cold weather. So we're going to go, especially before, if you got to do something outdoors during Christmas.
Yeah.
Maybe you want to get good and warm before you go. So
there, look at that.
The dude, I mean, they had cookies. They have cookies and they have milk. So he could pretend and warm up before he got to go get on that damn slate behind them reindeer and freeze his tuchus off. So we're always happy to see Santa on a cruise ship.
What if they give the reindeer just a little too much chili or some, hay that's got a little fermented
dicey.
Santa ain't at the front of the herd,
Yeah, no, he's sitting right back there where it could get messy. Yeah, same thing if you go on a sleigh ride pulled by horses.
Yeah.
Horses do a lot of that too.
Well, but they have this device now that seems to help that a bit. But
it's called a pooper scooper. Yeah.
Really?
That's what Santa elves do. They go, no, that's a reindeer scooper. Reindeer pooper scooper. I don't know what it's called.
A poop? No. A super duper pooper scooper is a dog thing that you get for your yard.
Okay.
Because it's not scooping any of the pooping. It's catching the droppings. I don't know. I was trying to rhyme something there.
Anyway, so I thought we might take a look at some of the ships and what they do. I mean, the Epix is unusual that it ignores Christmas.
I don't think it did. Here's what I think. I think that they had all Christmas stash down to, somewhere along the Florida run at some, cheap discount island, wherever they are. Maybe it's on their own island. And they got rerouted to New York. And then from New York to the Bahamas. And then finally they were going to get down in the Caribbean. And I'll bet you that's when they, boarded the 2 semis full of decorations from somewhere. And that's my philosophy. That's my theory.
If I don't know if Elizabeth is, I think she's back in Cozumel.
Yeah.
Or she might just now be I'm not sure what layover she had on her flight from Gatwick.
Okay.
But I think she's back home. If she happens to pop in and we see her in the chat, we'll ask her because she's worked on cruise ships. And if anybody else is out there in the internet web lands thingies and you made the mistake of clicking on this Cruise Amigo crap and are watching these two fat fools who have absolutely nothing better to do than waste an hour of your time talking about boats. If somebody should know the answer to that, what do they do with Christmas stuff like for June?
Yeah, they're 11 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the Iona, which that's one of the places that Elizabeth has been. She was working on the Iona there it was a short contract, but she did. I mean, they have that's one of their rooms.
But you see, that would collapse into almost nothing. These things would collapse.
And this thing, that's a snake tree.
Yeah.
I don't know.
How charming.
I'm not sure. Is that an artistic depiction of a
Yeah,
Christmas tree,
it's
or
supposed to be a spiral, but it didn't quite meet its.
I'm not sure about that. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that I agree with all this, folks.
Yeah.
And that's what it looks like down from the upstairs, looking down toward the atrium
Uh-huh.
on P&O's Iona. New Amsterdam,
Oh, I have one, but thank you. Thank you.
man, that looks pretty neat.
But see there again, that's your step up in caliber, and that's beautiful.
Yeah. And then, of course, Cunard, that's another step up. That would be,
Oh my goodness.
that's on the Queen Mary 2 on, how do you say that? Cunard?
Yeah.
Cunard?
Is it culinary or culinary union out in Las Vegas? That was a dispute on the talk shows out there all the time that I
Yeah,
worked
yeah.
there. Is it culinary or
Or
culinary?
I've always said culinary,
Me too.
which would mean I would say Cunard.
Can I? Yeah.
I've never really looked that up with one of the little things that you put it in Google and let
Yeah.
Gertrude or whatever the hell her name is and you click on her lips and it goes Cunard.
Do you know that Northwest Orient, well, and then now Delta flies Minneapolis to Hawaii. It's a big run for them. They collect all sorts of passengers in Minneapolis and make the Hawaii run. And a bunch of Minnesotans were on the flight just landing in Honolulu, and they were getting off the plane and they said, "Look, we had a big discussion. Is it Hawaii or Hawaii?" Because the pilot, was out greeting people as they do. And he said, Hawaii. And they were so happy it all got settled. They said, "Thank you very much." Of course, the Minnesota pilot goes, "You're welcome."
No.
Hey, yeah.
Reeled me right in on that one again.
You went along with it. Well, that's good.
What can I say? I thought you were gonna get back to, do the cruise ships in Hawaii celebrate Christmas?
Well, but that would be a pineapple Christmas, so they have glazed hams. I don't think they have turkeys. They have glazed hams. Oh my goodness.
That's Pride of America.
Is it normally red steps though? It's
Pride of America.
Red.
Now, yeah. I don't know. I don't think it's normally. Wow, I got a cat. Must have seen Ace or heard Ace or something, because I got a cat yowling in the background.
Uh-huh.
But that's Pride of America, and Pride of America, of course, lives in Hawaii all the time.
Right. Now, the Jade was the Pride of America before the Pride of America got there, and then they pulled it. Because when I was first on the Jade, it still had a big statue of King Kamehameha as you went into the formal dining room and stuff. They had not un-Hawaiian dressed it yet in 2015. So,
and then let's see, that's some folks in front of a tree on Allure of the Seas.
All right, the Allure. That is a big boat, by the way. I pulled in next to that one. God, I can't think. It was on the Barcelona run, so it was in one of the Spanish towns that you pull into, and the Allure was across the dock from us. And where my room was, I could look across the back end of the Allure, and she's a big boat.
And that's not the biggest one.
No, I know.
I mean, there's one class above that.
I get taken to task, every time I say the word boat, I have to send money to my travel agent in Florida.
Well, I mean, I say boat offhand, slap me in the face too. I say it to be irreverent, because
of course,
a real honest to God cruise people, it's always a ship. So I call it a boat.
Exactly. Exactly. If they're going to give us more trouble, we should call it a skiff.
Yeah.
But okay. Well, I see 1, 2, 3 layers. I have no recollection of what boat this could be.
This is Emerald Princess.
Oh, no wonder. Out of my league. Wonderful. Yeah. Beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Look at that.
That's Emerald Princess. So, yeah, that's, I read off all this Carnival statistics. I'm sure Princess, of course, there's not as many ships as in the Carnival line, but the Princess is going to have some pretty stout numbers as well.
Now, do you think of them as a step up over the Walmart boxes? Do you think of them as because to me that was the Love Boat out of South San Diego and LA, and I didn't think of it as anything other than a bottom line. No,
No, yeah, I consider it to be a step up. I mean, I put Carnival. Carnival is the party boat. It's not the cheapest, but it's a mass market party boat. It's the way I've always considered Carnival.
now has that? But I'm told that Carnival, since I wrote it, has really upped their game, and so I've not been harsh like I might have used to been, because I'm told that especially the new Carnival ships as they've come out have really are not that old idea of the party till you drop kind of thing.
The newer ships are not. I mean, they still have some of the aspects, but they're not near as much party oriented as it was, again, when I first started cruising. But then when I started cruising, I was a young guy that went out and didn't mind dropping $1,000 for my bar bill for the week.
Now, how many oars did they have on the side of the ship when you were cruising?
64.
6 on each side?
On no, 32 on each
32
side.
On the side. Okay.
64. And I'd sit back on the bow and go, heave ho, heave.
Oh, you were the guy. Okay. I thought there'd be a drum or something, I thought that would be the thing that would kind of keep everybody in sync.
Well, no, the drummer, he was up beating on the Christmas tree.
I thought it was rocking around the Christmas tree.
I still go back to the little drummer boy.
Oh, okay.
See, I'm old.
You are.
Yeah.
You are old.
Yeah. Dirt. Older than dirt.
It must be nice, though, to be able to look around the ship and know that very few people in that dining room are older than you.
Well, yeah. Now, I consider Princess a half step up.
Okay, half step. Okay.
Holland America, I consider
1.5, 2.
Maybe a full step up for older people. Although
it's got to be 1+.
That's not entirely fair either, because more younger people are going on the damn ships now. But I love Holland America. I love Holland America because of the food. Not that I ever had a problem with food on Carnival.
Yeah.
But Holland America was just outstanding. But I put Holland America, Carnival and Norwegian and Royal Caribbean pretty much on the same level. Now, the bigger, newer ships, they get a little bit more money,
right?
But then still, if you shop carefully, there's bargains on all three of those.
So, question: if you had the money and it was the same itinerary, because if you're not picking it by itinerary, and it doesn't meet your rule about I've never been on the ship before, would you upgrade to a different ship, or would you try a Haven run on a Norwegian cruise line? I think I'm determined to try a Haven run. Because, they have their own restaurant, or you can order anything from all the other restaurants delivered up to the Haven restaurant.
Knowing what I know now, or at least from other people, I haven't experienced a lot of it myself. Even better than that's on the Celebrity Haven.
So there's a Haven. Is that their same name, or do they have another name?
They call it Haven also.
They do.
They have Blue as the restaurant just for Haven Suite folk. And they say that is fabulous. Everything about it is fabulous.
Well,
but
Hey,
you
we
pay
ate in La
extra for it.
Bistro. I finally met a friend toward the end, and we ate in La Bistro, a nice lady from Dallas, Texas. And the service and the food was unbelievable. She had steak tartare, which of course I asked for a little fire stick to finish. But no, we both had duck actually as our main course. I had scallops first, but the food in La Bistro was just excellent, and the food in La Cucina,
La
which one?
Cucina.
The Italian restaurant was superior to my 5 other times in that restaurant.
Yeah.
It was incredibly good.
Yeah.
So I would like to see what can Haven do better.
Yeah. And see, I have been, again, being old school. I mean, I fell in love with cruises before anybody ever thought of specialty restaurants.
Oh, yes.
So yeah, kiss my ass on that rowing crap. But there weren't no. I mean, it was old enough not to have specialty restaurants. I mean, you pay for your fare and you got everything the ship had to offer. I mean, they had lobster. Several times a week you got lobster.
Wow.
You had steak almost every night.
Yeah. Hey, pretty
But
neat.
so now, and of course, I was never a sushi eater until the last 4 or 5 years. So sushi is one of the things that John hates sushi. Sushi is one of the things that I always do at least once on a cruise. So that has entered me into the sphere of specialty restaurants.
La-di-da.
Now, yeah, I'm probably gonna book a couple every cruise just to experience.
So do you eat escargot also?
Well, I love escargot.
You like that?
Oh, right. Absolutely.
All right. And how about steak tartare then? And does everybody know what steak tartare is?
Yeah, it's raw steak.
It is, but it's mixed with onions and some other things and stuff. But it is the absolutely best cut of tenderloin, ground up and served raw. Now, I've seen it even with a pigeon egg, raw, broken on the top of it, a little pigeon egg on the top. So, no, John will not be doing that.
I'm not sure. Once you throw in the raw egg on top of it, then I might.
Oh, that would not be. That's the line. Okay, folks, we found the line, and apparently it's the raw egg. That's funny. Porter Wagner.
And no, I've never done the hangover cure where you put a raw egg in a beer or something.
Rather be hungover.
Yeah, right. No.
But Porter Wagner, did a joke every night at the Grand Ole Opry. Every time that I was there, which was in the tens of times, he did the same joke. And that was the thing about how he was in a restaurant and the guy next to him ordered a tongue sandwich. And he said, I would never eat anything that comes out of the mouth of a cow. Miss, I'll have a couple of eggs.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that was a Porter Wagner joke from the 50s to when did he pass on? Not too long ago.
Yeah, he was way up there.
Yes, yeah. All those guys, it seemed the Grand Ole Opry stars lived, extended amount of time. Roy Acuff,
well, it's because they were always so health conscious. I mean,
right.
they didn't drink, they didn't do drugs, they didn't. Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Start
here, you need one of these. Here, take one of them. No, but it might have been, though, without joking, it might have been, all the Grand Ole Opry members have a contract and they get paid and, they have this contract to work there. And that might have led to better. First of all, they were traveling less because they just lived around Nashville. And so they were eating more. And so some of our joking could be true that they maybe didn't drink like they drank out on the road. And they didn't maybe enjoy the more illegal kind of things because they were living in a house and they had neighbors and their kids went to school. And, it changed them from being the the road people that you just put up with because they could sing really well or whatever, to being really respected neighbors and citizens and stuff, and that might have led to better health choices along the way, and the going to a doctor right away. That's how what was his name? Famous country star, died 10 years ago in his bus. Not Charlie Pride. Really close though. Who did When We Get Behind Closed Doors? Big haircut, big round face guy, pretty big country haircut. I thought you knew all these guys.
Yeah, but it's just not coming.
Anyway, but he died on his tour bus of an embolism in his stomach, and if he'd have been at home, they probably would have rushed him to the hospital or call the ambulance. But because he was on his bus, they were just hoping to make the 4 hours into Nashville, and he died.
Yeah. Of course, then there's the biggest one against all that you just said is Willie Nelson.
No, it isn't Charlie Rich. You're really close though. Charlie Pride, I think it was.
Oh, Charlie Pride, yeah.
Charlie Pride.
Yeah. I thought you said it wasn't Charlie Pride, so I
No,
didn't guess Charlie Pride.
Pat Frower said Charlie Rich, and that triggered me to get to Charlie Pride.
Okay. Yeah, but Willie's been one to go out back and toke forever.
Well, but Willie
he started going out and toking when anybody did.
Yes, but he's in that stratosphere group with like the guitar player from the Rolling Stones. There's 4 or 5 people does not. They could put turpentine through their system. It don't matter. They would just light it on the other end to give the bus a little more gas mileage. I mean, there's something about. There's a few people like that. Have you ever heard the song "I'll Never Smoke Weed" with Willie again?
Yeah, I have.
But for folks, if you're listening, it's on YouTube. Go find it. "I'll Never Smoke Weed" with Willie again. The wordplay of what happens to these country guys that ended up on Willie's bus. Obviously, somebody that's really a pothead did not write it, because there was the intricate wordplay of the song is so funny.
Yeah.
But the chorus is "I'll never smoke weed with Willie again." So.
All right. I have not even glanced at the chat room. You mentioned Pat. Emily's with us. Hey, Emily. She's with John on the sushi question.
Oh, everybody's with me on the sushi question. It's only, well, we're just going to have when I actually see you, we're going to have words with you. That's all that we can do.
Yeah, no, you're not going to stop me eating sushi.
God did not intend fish to be eaten uncooked.
Well, I fought it for a lot of years. I did. Because my niece is the one that ate it all the time. And I said, hell, I don't want that. I'm not even going to try that. And then I don't know where we were one night, and she said, just try one piece. And I had one piece, and I fell in love with sushi. And now, I'd eat it a couple times a week. I eat it once a week, almost religiously, and I probably would eat it more, except it's expensive.
I would eat it religiously. I would go, once he was a fish and now he was a chicken.
Yeah, well, it's when you go out and have multiple rolls in a meal, it adds up. But I do. Now there's things that
isn't there an all-you-can-eat sushi gas station around here somewhere?
Yeah, no. Well, no, you have to have somebody, actually Japanese, that's making it on the spot. They make it to order.
Well, of course. So, I would. Yeah, that's the joke, is I would never buy sushi at a truck stop.
Yeah, a truck stop or a gas station. No. It's got to be legitimate for me. So, but I do. Yeah, I enjoy it. And I've gotten so I put wasabi on almost every bite. You know what wasabi is?
Well, I already get my nose is already running like a faucet.
Yeah,
Can you imagine?
I mean, there's some wasabi when it's fresh. I mean, it's made that day fresh. that, I mean, it makes my eyes water.
You know that 90% of the wasabi you get in America is not wasabi, right? You know that.
Yeah, well, I
Can
figured
you
that.
tell? Can you taste the difference? Can you, when
Yeah.
you really know you got wasabi?
Yeah, but it does take your breath.
Is it a rounder pepper then? You know, like, because some peppers are sharp and some are
No, it's
kind of
sharp.
oh, it's sharp. It's on
Oh,
the
yeah.
sharp side.
It's
Okay.
it's stabbing sharp.
So
But you know, other than the burning sensation, the flavor, I love it. I really
I
do.
think it would give you cancer of the prostate because you'd be going, oh, when you put so much pressure on it that's how
Yeah,
it
well,
started.
maybe that's how I got it. No, I started eating sushi before I got it.
Oy, oy,
Yeah,
oy.
because I had sushi the last couple cruises I was on. So
Nikki, look at Nikki Singleton just asked, have you ever gone fishing with a bottle of soy sauce and a real sharp knife? Nikki, I was a guest on a private yacht between San Diego and Catalina Island, and they threw a line over and they caught some fish 2 or 3 feet long, and they made it into sashimi, is what you're asking about.
yeah.
You know, it's different than sushi. It's just fish dipped in soy sauce, basically. And the people on the boat thought that they had hit nirvana, man. They almost wanted to circle the boat back and see if they could catch another one right there where they caught it.
Huh?
I, on the other hand, went to my cabin and had a nice nap. I did not do that.
Speaking of a nice nap, I'm probably going to do that.
I've been up at 6 a.m. and I am full of pea and vinegar, and I'm just getting so much. I've never washed so many loads of clothes myself. In 20 years, I don't think I've washed all my clothes.
Mr. Bucket List says, I heard they got rid of the solo cruise director. That was one of the best perks of a solo program on NCL.
on the Epic, on this cruise, there was none. And the actual cruise director sucked. And I'm only saying that based on 12 or 15 other people in that Epic chat room saying it. I'm not bringing that to the forefront. But he didn't even do the 10 o'clock morning thing. Some girl came on and did the 10 o'clock morning thing, you know? So you never even got the, hey, good morning, it's the cruise director on the Epic. And he was, I never saw him. He was never around in any of the, and not that I was at all the shows or anything, but I mean, but it was just the weirdest thing. And again, maybe not his fault. Maybe this is, you know, what Epic's doing based on the COVIDity thing that we got going. I don't know, but it was just weird. They did a morning TV show that was, you think I got bad puns. Nothing they did rose to my worst joke ever. So.
All right, guys. Well, we have managed to absolutely waste another hour of all these people's time.
He said waste. Did you? This is not waste. This is an in-depth look at a couple of guys' experiences traveling the world.
Yes. Okay.
And I've got a new Mercedes that's only got 15,000 miles on it, driven only to church on Sundays, to the Presbyterian church, I might add. So, you know, and you know, great value.
Yeah. Well, anyway, folks, we're sure glad you're with us. Are we going to do a show next week?
Well, I heard others are doing shows next week, but then not for the next 2.
Yeah, but they're doing like Pete's show, the Cruising for Solos show that's now in my time slot on Sundays, which is okay. Because I'm sitting in on it with Pete and Allison.
Hey,
he's going to do that next week and then take 2 weeks off, which would be, the Sunday after Christmas and the Sunday after New Year's.
I mean, I'm here. My big thing is I got to get some help now, and I'm going to move my entire studio from the trailer here, the video trailer, into the mobile home that Ronnie and Heidi were living in, because then I can. It's just all one contiguous thing. I go from my house to the office connecting building into there without having to go outside or heat it. And then this will go cold. So
this will go colder than it is.
Well, but I mean, yeah, I mean, I might keep it at 40 or something, but yeah. This 62 sucks too. I'll tell you what.
No, I couldn't do that. I'd have to have a little bit warmer than that.
You know, Letterman always kept his studio at 60 degrees, 62 degrees.
Yeah.
That's,
But then he had a lot of lights too that warmed things up.
well, that's where he was. That was, yes, there was an equivalency there, but
if you were sitting in the audience, it was brutal.
Yeah, I guess it was brutal. Yeah. But I mean, but everybody was warned, and also the people did not talk about it. That was the other thing, is that the guests, it was not a repeating subject, but Letterman kept his studio right at.
I was never on Carson's show or never in the audience for Carson's show. I wonder if he did the same thing.
No. The times I was there, I did not notice it. I was there in the summer, in LA, I guess it's always summer, but it was definitely summer, because we didn't have, being friends with Gary Shamling, we didn't have to wait in that long line under that covered awning thing. We just went to a different door and got taken in kind of in front of them.
Well, I never got to do that one. I did do Letterman's once.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cold.
I would not.
And then the only other live network show that I did was back in the old Price is Right day, and then of course when I was on the air myself, but I mean, I was small potatoes.
My friend Bob, who's now here in Crookston at 90 some, was on the dating game twice. Twice, and he lost both times, and he felt that he lost because of the three guys, both times they were trained voices. They had come from radio or television, and he felt that that's what carried it. But he was the opening of the show for a while, because one of his answers was him singing, A, you're adorable, B, you're so beautiful, C, whatever. And so that's my claim to fame for that show. And then I was at the beginning of Chips for a season. So we'll talk about that again, because we went over the hour, and I know that troubles you greatly. So.
Oh yeah, we are over an hour. We got to go, folks. That's it for this week. We'll see. We're going to see everybody next Sunday, and we'll come up with another idea to.
I'm not going anywhere. Are you going anywhere? So
I'm not going anywhere.
Let's get the gang together.
We'll be here.
Yeah.
See you guys next Sunday then, and then everybody come join me at 11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time.
That's 10 for me.
And
10
for
me.
All kinds of cruise news and what's going on, and
every
neat
boat is
stuff
sailing,
from
and
people all over the world.
He knows every cruise director in his back pocket. He's got him right here in his back pocket. It's amazing. So no, it's a great show.
I hear you.
I'm there almost every day. Good to see you. Happy Sunday.
See everybody next week. Y'all have a fabulous week. Later, y'all.